I think they both get in at some point. Harbaugh's been around since 2008. Andy Reid has been coaching every year in the NFL since 1999. He's a no-brainer, walk right into the Upper Room Hall of Fame, and may catch Bill Belichick as the greatest coach of all time, especially, if he continues to be joined at the hip with Mahomes and he keeps going for another 5 or 6 years. Who do you have right now as the better coach? And let's throw in the entire staff as well.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, it kind of comes down to rings, and if that's the case, then it's got to be Andy Reid. But we've been sort of talking about this too. I mean, the edge between Spagnuolo and Orr. I mean, just experience-wise, got to go to Spags. I mean, Matt Nagy versus Todd Monken. I mean, you also have the experience factor there in terms of just being an NFL coach before. So I would kind of go with Nagy there, although I really like what Todd Monken has done with that offense, with the exception of the way he called it in the AFC Championship game. So I would go with the Chiefs, but I don't, again, like any of these, it's kind of like, man, it's not like I'm trying to knock the Ravens here, because the Ravens are a great staff. They got really talented players, but when you're going against the champs, you're still going against the champs. And the Chiefs right now, they're the two-time defending champs.
Yeah, I think across the board, the better coaching staff. Again, this weird dynamic that Steve Spagnuolo never gets seriously mentioned as a potential head coaching candidate. He had that very short, disastrous tenure with the Rams, which really wasn't all his fault. I'm not making excuses for the guy, but the Rams were about as dysfunctional as any team has ever been during that period of time that Spagnuolo was the head coach. So I don't know whether it's that or, there's a general bias, I think, against defensive head coaches because you want a quarterback guru to be the guy that takes your young quarterback if you get a franchise guy potentially in the draft and you want to go forward. But, yeah, Spagnuolo doesn't get mentioned. Nagy had his stint with the Bears, which wasn't a complete disaster, but those guys are sticking around. At one point, Dave Tobe, the special teams coordinator, was mentioned as a potential head coaching candidate. Those guys have stayed in place. That gives the Chiefs the better overall staff and the edge there. So it looks like we're both going to – what a shock. We're both going to pick the Chiefs to win tomorrow night. Should have learned last year, though. And it was too late to change the pick, but I will say this. Last year when the Lions came out to take the field, I was just like, they seem upset. like they're just